From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. The nature of the mind is flickering and unsteady, but a self-realized yogi has to control the mind. The mind should not control him. One who controls the mind and therefore the senses as well is called a Goswami or Swami. One who is controlled by the mind is called Godas or the servant. A Goswami knows the standard of sense happiness. In transcendental sense happiness, the senses are engaged in the service of Rishikesh or the supreme owner of the senses, Krishna. Serving Krishna with purified senses is called Krishna consciousness. This is the way of bringing the senses under full control. What is that is the highest perfection of yoga practice. Prashanta Yogina Sukhamuttamam Upaiti Shantarajasam Brahmabhutam Akalmasham. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental practice. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is from the reactions of past deeds. Brahmabhuta is the state of being free from material contamination and situated in the transcendental service. Mad bhaktim labhate param. One cannot remain in the quality of Brahman, the Absolute, until one's mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. To be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, or to remain in Krishna consciousness, is to be liberated from the mode of passion and all material contamination. So yesterday we were talking about carrying the intelligence by convictions, and this process has to be gradual. Why? Because at every step in this process the mind creates a blockage. Mind, because of its inherent restless nature, the mind creates instability in every undertaking. So this is the point which is mentioned. And this instability is because of the mind. And now it wonders what to do. When the mind is wavering, then what to do? The Lord explains the treatment from the mind actually. The mind, because of its flickering nature, may wander here and there. But wherever it goes, it says, oh, niyam yogita. Again regulate it, bring it back. Niyam yogita. And then Atmani eva vasham dhangi. One should bring the mind under one's own control, not that he is controlled by the mind. So, Prabhupada gives a differentiation between the Goswami and the Buddhas. It is not that a Goswami does not face the flickering nature of the mind. The Goswami also gets provocations for the mind, the Godas also gets. But the difference is that the Goswami wins the battle, thus succumbs to the battle. So Godas will say what to do. The conditions are so strong, I cannot make it. And Goswami says, nothing doing. The Godas says, provocations are very high, let me give in. Goswami says, let me fight. This is the difference actually. Both have to fight actually. Both are facing provocations, but one wins the battle, one loses the battle. That is the differentiation between Goswami and Godas actually. So one who allows, Godas, Goswami says, let me go to you. Godas, Goswami says, let me go on. So you see, there is a difference actually. This is the difference which is being explained here. That is why we see that the previously when we talked about the fixity of commitment, that fixity of mind goes here and there. So that fixity is very. If that fixity is not around which we can revolve our activities. Because see, activities will never go straight. Activity is there is always a proclivity tangentially out. So therefore one has to go around the central point, and then in that way it is. So tendency to go around the central point, and then one hits the central point. Tatastata niyamyaita atmani eva vashamaya. And by the self one should control the mind. Actually, the living entity has the power to switch off the mind. And power has to be exercised. But some amount of hard work needs to be done. Just like thermometer. And you see the point is that mercury doesn't go down because of the king. So mercury goes down. Sometimes it doesn't go down. It goes down. But one has to give a solid jerk. One has to give a solid jerk, and it goes down. Like mercury thermometers. Mercury goes down. Peacefully it will go down. But one has to give a jerk. So just by just a soothing touch, will not help. One has to give a jerk, a solid jerk, like that. In the same way, mind has to. The mind will keep quiet. The mind will always be soaring and giving a high signal. And you give a jerk, all the mind's thoughts, they come, into the storage, like that. So living entity has that power actually. to switch off the mind. Therefore, actually, the more we accept the decisive directives of Bhakti or given in the Shastras and by the Acharyas, we see that the mind gets a lesser and lesser role in life. Why the mind becomes too much flared up in this material world is because in this material world there are always probabilities which are involved. And wherever there is probability, the mind will start its imaginative algorithms. Wherever there is unsurety, the mind comes in very strongly, like that. But you see, the Shastric injunctions, there is no probability or heaviness. It's very sure, it's very decisive, like that. And because it's very decisive, the more you accept, the more life becomes peaceful. Is it not? Like you say, devotee lifestyle, very sure and very decisive, like that. Devotee should get pretty sure, like that. Not devotee should chant minimum 16 hours, and more, like that. And by the time Mangalarti Bhagavatam, everything is 9:30, 10. So till how 10 o'clock has happened? So you see, everything is decided. It's very decisive. If you accept it, there is no scope for anything else. No space for it. Like that. Then there are services, and there are book reading, hearing, and like that. Then evening cooking programs, someday weekly programs, someday preaching programs, like that. In daytime various services, additional concentration. The day is decided actually. So in this way, the life of a devotee gets very much decided. So then in that decisive case, there is no scope for the mind to play actually. So therefore you will see that people who are not having a fixed protocol in life, their only mind is very unstable. People who follow a decisive routine in life or a decisive pattern in life, they generally come in the mode of goodness. And mind doesn't have much role to play actually. So the mind has role to play when you keep things probabilistic. When we always keep thinking whether or not to do the seva, the mind will play. But you decide, the mind will not play at all. So decide it. कुछ करने को है ही नहीं. Like that. You keep one leg in the devotee association, one leg outside, then mind will play, Mind will be most agitating and mind will be most active at that point, like that. You shut off the door, outside door, fully inside, mind will not. This is the nature of the mind actually. Wherever we keep things busy, mind will play, like that. So wherever there is a dangling proclivity, similarly woman, Now you decide not to marry or you marry one woman, finish. Both cases the decision is done and mind will not play. But always one keeps that, avenue open, Mind with follow the decisive paradigms that are given in the Shastras. Then there is no scope of any haziness, is it? How should life be led? We know. What should be our clothing style? We know. There is no haziness. It's not that should I wear blue or should I wear black or should I wear orange, should I wear red? So life becomes very decisive. What hairstyle I should keep, like that. You're decisive, you keep a shika, you keep a clean sheet, So, decisive, and then peaceful, But then you give allowance to, like that. Like yesterday I was traveling in metro, two fellows, they were just looking at their hairstyle throughout the journey, This fellow was making a twist. He said, this was very nice before, now what has happened to my style, like that, 10 minutes they were doing the same thing, like that. And the other person really think, mera kya ho gaya? fellows, probably they will be going home, eating and going to sleep. Who's going to look at their face also? Is it not? But you see the consciousness. Why? Because they're giving scope to the mind. Maybe in this way of doing with the beauty comes out or whatever. Nonsense, is it not?
अब लिफ्ट में भी लगा देते हैं।
हाँ?
लिफ्ट में भी लगा देते हैं।
लिफ्ट में भी लगा देते हैं। People. So wherever you give a scope of imagination, the mind will play. Actually, you fix it, finish it. No? You fix it, finish it. Like that. You see, in companies also there are two kinds of people. One is kind of people who are always trying to hawk. They always want to get more, hawk more, like that. These fellows are most unstable, like that. You will see there are others who have decided each company में बैठना है to fix it. Life goes peacefully, Life becomes streamlined. Slowly one starts finding out more time, How to get things done is fixed. The contacts are there, things there, So everything is set pattern, like that. And one can focus on some other things in life also, like that. So wherever we see the nature, the way to tackle mind is not to give it scope. Follow the decisive pattern of decisions. That is the way of bringing the senses under full control. And that is the perfection if you look at it.
Provocations, like there are certain conditions which gets activated by certain physical situations. Now sometimes physical situation is very high. And suppose 10 times that provocation comes, after 10 times, 1 or 2 times we fall prey to it. And then we lose hope, we feel that I am good for nothing, I am a good ass. So in that situation, how to the physical situations are like that conditioning is getting activated.
The positive we should not leave. That is why the Lord is explaining in the previous verse, 25. The Lord explains what? Shane, shane. Step by step, keep going on. The results may not come, as Prabhupada says immediately. It will take time for success to come. So even though one has failed, so what? It should go. That is the point. So one should not have undue expectations, or undue ambitions from himself. So conditioning two things actually. One is conditionings do not remain rocking all the time. They come, they rock for some time, the force gets down. Because if they are rocking all the time, none of us will be able to overcome it. Krishna's mercy has just given a spike, some or the other tolerate it for some time, like that. Now even while that phase is going, one is succumbing to that, no problem, still practice it. Because by that we are getting strength. The positive axis motion should be there. So therefore the footing on the negative axis will get levitated.
But Krishna doesn't neglect us on the basis of that failure.
Yeah, he doesn't neglect us. Krishna wants her to see continuity. He doesn't want discontinuous functions, step functions. Krishna wants continuous integration. Like that. Therefore, morning program, Nityam Bhagavad Seva, morning program, so like that. Sankirtan, Nirantar Sankirtan. Krishna wants that actually. Continuity. Like that. So he doesn't want a delta function, that only one time one will do something, but he will do such a spike it goes to infinity. That is not wanted. Better have a small value and then slowly take it up. And that way you integrate. Is it not? That's the point. You see, therefore, 27, the Lord explains that such a yogi Why he is Prashanta Manasam and he is experiencing Sukham Uttamam? Because Upaiti Shanta Rajasam. He has achieved Shanti from Rajasa. His passions have become pacified. So therefore he has become very happy. The agitations of the mind is the cause of suffering. Do not allow the mind to agitate. Do not allow the mind to vibrate.
Saying to switch off the mind, but it has to simultaneously also work to purify the mind so that it doesn't penetrate intensity of agitation.
Yeah, most of the operations are done on anesthesia. Is it not? The same point. Treatment is always switch off means not here for now. That is the point actually. Then in an awake state. Like that. Sure. So this is the point. When we say we switch off the mind, we don't give weightage to the mind. We are not hearing the mind first. Like that. For us the mind doesn't exist. In that state to treat the mind is the best. Rather than having a dialogue with the mind. No dialogue. In dialogue we'll get caught up because the mind will give such an imagination, beautiful picture, we will get enticed, enamored. That's the point. So no hearing the mind actually. The vibrations have to be stopped. So when we see mental vibrations have started, we have to start the Sankirtan vibrations. And with that give a counter. Like Brahma says countered by Brahma. The mind starts vibrating, we start vibrating the holy name. In the vibration of the holy name, cut off the vibrations of the mind. Like that. So this way a devotee should struggle actually. And if we stop this vibrating mind, then we will see Shanta Rajasam Prashanta Manasam. One will become so peaceful. Prashanta Manasam. Yogina Sukham. One comes to the stage of Brahmabhuta where one is freed from these past sinful reactions. So that is what we say, Brahmabhuta Akalmasha. So all these activities that we say that keeping busy sadhana, they are all to actually lower down the vibrations of the mind. So we can ourselves understand how much sadhana we need, how much chanting we need, how much we need the morning program by seeing how our mind oscillates. Like that. How much we need to keep ourselves busy for service. All are there to quieten the mind actually. That way. Or association. All are there to quieten the mind. Now in the next three verses the Lord is describing progressively the Brahman stage, the Paramatma stage and the Bhagavan stage. Text 28. Yunjanevam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmashaha sukhena brahma samsparsham adyantam sukhamashnute. Highest happiness one attains. Atyantam sukhamashnute. Highest happiness one attains. How? Always engaging in the self. Yunjanevam sadatmanam. Yogi vigata kalmasha. By giving up, being freed from, being washed off from material contamination. Sukhena brahma samsparsham is very happy. Why? Because always he is touching Brahma. So here the Lord explains, you see, thus the self-controlled yogi constantly engaged in yoga practice becomes free from all material contamination and achieves the highest stage of perfect happiness in loving transcendental service to the Lord. Self-realization means knowing one's constitutional position in relationship with the Supreme. The individual soul is part and parcel to the Supreme, and its position is contact with the Supreme. So, even Brahma Samsparsha is sufficient to defeat Maheshwara, to expose the illusion of Maheshwara. And what is this Brahma Samsparsha? Touch of spiritual energy is sufficient enough. That is the point. Brahma Samsparsha. So this is stage of Brahman actually, that just a touch of spirit is so powerful actually. Much is not explored, much is not attained, but that touch itself is so powerful actually. So this touch can come in terms of principles. In our life, this touch of Brahma Samsparsha, we can have, we can experience by adhering to principles. नहीं, ये जीवन का सिद्धांत ऐसा है. Given any situation, सिद्धांत ऐसा है. That touch. Not much we are able to experience. The Lord is there, the Lord is directing, Lord is helping. But just that siddhanta one has accepted. That's touch. So the living entity has the capacity to grab onto some things actually. And by means of grabbing onto some things, the living entity is able to change, the mold on some other things like that. So we grab the siddhanta, strongly, tightly get hold of it, then we loosen actually our grip on spirituality. That's gratification. So that is called as Brahma Samsparsha. And not much is known, but person understands this is not to be done. Like you see how morality makes people peaceful. There is no understanding. Krishna, Supreme Lord, this, that. But it is some sort of touch. Micrometer touch. Some sort of small touch. But that touch quietens the mind. Brahma Samsparsha. Brahma Samsparsha. And the mind becomes quietened, then one experience transcendental happiness. Sukham, Sukhena Brahma Samsparsha. Atyantakam Sukhamashti. The highest happiness one attains in that state. So we see that just the touch of Bhakti is so powerful in this way. The touch of God itself is so powerful in this way. Brahma Samsparsha. So that itself can help the living entity. That itself can take one beyond the loops of sense gratification. See. So therefore this should be taken very seriously. Like as a devotee, these Vaishnava etiquettes which bring us to mode of goodness should be taken very seriously. At least by that actually our consciousness is setting right, and slowly higher subject matters may be visible to us or understandable to us, applicable. We can commit to that. But this Brahma Samsparsham is very important. What is it that I am touching? Is it simply a material thread which I am touching? Is it simply speculation या कहीं पे कुछ है भी है ना? That is called the Brahma Samsparsham. Therefore, a sadhaka should keep practicing seeing life situations and relating it with Shastras. So that when some situation happens in his own life, he has a good practice. His machine learning data set is very strong. Yeah, we have to build a machine learning algorithm. The mind and the intelligence are machines. They need to learn. They don't know how to connect things to Krishna. So we need to teach them. देखो ये सिचुएशन ऐसे कनेक्ट करते हैं समझे क्या है ना तो आफ्टर 6 months the same situation comes to us is I मेरे डेटाबेस में है ना it becomes easy if it is not there in database बहुत मुश्किल है लेकिन suppose you don't train the mind sense gratification mind is fully trained सब समझ में आता है बराबर है ना ट्रेनिंग की भी जरूरत नहीं है ना सब समझ में आता है mind is trained but something spiritual, the mind has to be trained. So we need to practice and show. That's why one should always keep working on data sets. Actually. That is the problem. So that is the point. So that there can be Brahma Samskarisham actually. That given a situation we can connect it and there can be Brahma Samskarisham. Like that. So this Samskarisham is very important. And therefore actually there is something, now we are at a certain level, the principles are at certain level. So it's like now we have to make some structures so that we can touch, it's close by. For mental status they are very close by, very close by the structure is there, we can touch. The probability of touch will increase. This is called as Brahma Samskarisham. Therefore whenever there are no trying situations, actually a sadhaka should always keep relating his with situations in life. With the Shastras. And in this way this touch can go, but this touch itself is so powerful, the Brahman realization. Then the Lord explains, Sarva Bhutasthamatmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmane Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. A true yogi observes me in all the beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized person sees me, the Supreme Lord, everywhere. Very interesting. Why interesting? Because if you see, Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. Atmanam is what? Atmanam is not me actually. Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. Cha Atmani, not me. So the Lord is giving an indirect reference here because this is Paramatma understanding stage actually. Ikshate Yoga Yukta Atma Sarvatra Samasarjan. Ikshate with that vision, Yoga Yukta Atma. The self-realized person, he sees Sarvatra Samadarshana. Everywhere he sees with equal vision. What is that vision? Sarva Bhuta Sthamatma. All living beings are in that spirit, Atma. A very interesting proper translates it as a true yogi observes me and all the beings. So me kahan se aa gaya? That is the question. So this is the point. Me is not there. The Lord is referring indirectly to the Paramatma realization. That Atmanam, that spirit, that super spirit. But when Prabhupada is translating the me, is surrendered. So the question comes is from where this me has come actually. And this is the Prabhupada's special mercy. No? And what is going to come later, Prabhupada gives it beforehand. Okay. It's like, why to waste time? हो सकता है reading you may go to sleep. So okay, you are awake, you understand, move forward. Again. Yeah, दूसरे वर्ष में सो भी गए तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. That is proper, ना? नॉन ऐसे कैसे मी बोल दिया ना? मी ऐसे बोला है 30th वर्ष में ही मी बोल देते हैं भगवान, है ना? That is the भगवान से, है ना? यो माम पश्यति सर्वत्र,
यो मां पश्यति सर्वत्र,
सर्वं च पश्यति,
सर्वं च वै पश्यति,
तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि,
तस्याहं न प्रणश्यामि,
स च मे न प्रणश्यति.
स च मे न प्रणश्यति.
That is the point actually. So Prabhupada is saying the conclusion beforehand only. This is not. Right. Prabhupada giving the conclusion beforehand. Like that.
ये भगवान है.
Huh?
This is भगवान. कटिया is भगवान. इससे पहले का भगवान.
Prabhupada is saying don't waste time. Once one Mayavadi came to Prabhupada, he said, Swamiji, what is this? There's so many verses and Lord is not mentioning about himself. And you are saying in the purport, in the translation, Lord is not mentioning me, but you are saying me. What is this? What kind of translation is this? Prabhupada said, you see, you fellows, you people, wherever the Lord mentions me, there also you strike it off, like that. So therefore, to balance it, wherever the Lord put it, so this is the point. Spirit. The Lord is giving direct attention. Look, is it? Look in that direction. Is it? That way. So the Lord is saying, look in the direction of spirit, you will understand. That way. A Krishna conscious yogi is the perfect seer because he sees Krishna, the Supreme, situated in everyone's heart as a super soul Paramatma. Ishvara sarvabhutanam vipeshe arjuna tishtati. The Lord and his Paramatma feature is situated both within both the heart of the dog and that of a Brahman. The perfect yogi knows that the Lord is eternally transcendental and is not materially affected by his presence in either a dog or a Brahman. That is the supreme neutrality of the Lord. The individual soul is situated in the individual heart, but he is not present in all the hearts. That is the distinction between the individual soul and the super soul. One who is not factually in the practice of yoga cannot see so clearly. A Krishna conscious person can see Krishna in the heart of both the believer and the non-believer. In the Smriti, this is confirmed as follows: Atatattvakcha matratvakcha atmahi paramohari. The Lord, being the source of all beings, is like the mother and the maintainer. As a mother is neutral to all different kinds of children, the Supreme Father or Mother is also. Consequently, the Super Soul is always in every living being. Outwardly also, every living being is situated in the energy of the Lord. As will be explained in the Lord has primarily superior in the spiritual material. The living entity, all the part of the superior energy, is conditioned by the inferior energy. The living entity is always the Lord's energy. Every living entity is situated in him in some way or the other. Yogi sees equally because he sees that all the living entities, although in different situations, according to the results of fruitive work in all circumstances, remain the servants of God. While in the material energy, the living entity serves the material senses, and while in the spiritual energy, he serves the Supreme Lord directly. In either case, the living entity is a servant of God. This vision of equality is perfect in a person of Krishna consciousness. So, Brahman realization is like the gateway. Brahman realization is like the gateway. You step in the door of the spiritual plane. You have a material matrix and your material coordinates, and your material coordinates are pseudo coordinates. This is nothing. And they do not give a proper, they do not give a proper geometry. Distortions are there. So he says, okay, Brahma Samsparsha. Now you go to the spiritual plane. When you go to the spiritual plane, all contaminations are filtered off. Then you are seeing a proper image actually, like that. That is the point. So, Brahman realization is the gateway. Brahman realization is the gateway actually. Is the gateway. So now the question comes is that, so just like you see, just like for example, if you see, say, so for example, is water purifier. So you have water, it may give problem, it has contaminations. You add a purifier, the coordinates are changed. Is it? The transformation takes place. Yeah, it's a transformation which is happening. But it's a positive transformation has happened. The contaminations are gone. Now you can understand water a little better. Contaminations you cannot understand. You only understand that your throat is choked up, you have got fever or things like that. That way. But now all those things are gone, then you can really understand what is the nature of water. Is it not? So this is called as Brahma Samsparsha. You enter the door, like that. So what is this Paramatma realization now? So if Brahma Samsparsham is the gateway, then what is Paramatma realization? So Paramatma realization is a unifying factor. Everything in this world is in bits and pieces. And unless you unify it, you will not see the picture. So Paramatma realization is a unifying factor. Therefore the Lord is explaining, you see how the Lord is explaining Paramatma understanding. The Lord is saying that yes, there is this Paramatma in a dog's heart also. And therefore become equal vision. Don't become a biased fellow, become an equal vision fellow. Right? That equality has to be there. That connectivity has to be there. Because if you see Paramatma, by understanding that Paramatma is everywhere, you can understand everything. Or you can relate with everything actually. So Paramatma provides, this Paramatma understanding provides a unifying factor actually. Therefore the bits and pieces, the jigsaw tidbits, can actually be combined together and then they can make a nice picture like that. This is Paramatma understanding actually.
Brahman also can do nothing. I see everybody as Brahman. That is also unifying factor.
Yeah, I say is spiritualize it, like that. Spiritualize it. But then that is okay for that is the gateway, the entry point. But then in a dynamic setting you need a very strong cohesive. Like say for example, the other person is suppose the other person is behaving in such a way that one is getting crushed, or choked up or suffocated or something like that. This is the situation, and the other person not listening, blockage. So some Brahma Samsparsha may say, okay, no problem, Agama, Paino, Anitya, Tam, Satiksha, that is Brahma Samsparsha. This is not. Just tolerate, increase 2 rounds, 4 rounds, tolerate. But now suppose the other person not changing only, then how much you will tolerate, अब उसको कैसे चेंज किया जाए? That for not hearing, is it not? So then you have to you can approach to this cohesive, the Paramatma cohesive, is it not? You got the point? Then you can approach this Paramatma cohesive action. So we take shelter of spiritual principles, with the hope that the Lord can slowly change the other person's heart. Okay, let me serve the other person, so that at some point of time his heart can change. How it will change? The Lord will change it. Why the Lord will change? Because I am following whatever the Lord is doing. So you see, this is the cohesive. In a dynamic setting, this becomes the cohesive. Brahma Sampradaya entry point, tolerate. Tam Sutiksha. How long to tolerate? This is not. ठीक है, प्रसाद नहीं है, you can say tam Sutiksha, है ना? अरे प्रसाद नहीं है, टॉलरेट है ना, कितना घंटे टॉलरेट करें, है ना? ना समझ से नहीं, आधा घंटा टॉलरेट करो, बन रहा है, हाँ चलो ठीक है, पानी पी के आधा घंटा पार करेंगे ना, like that is the point. But is the Paramatma understanding now there is infinite tolerance? बहुत मुश्किल है. Is it? If you are understanding that things are working out, then you can hold on for some time. But if you are understanding that things will not work out only at all, very difficult to hold on. This is not. Therefore, Paramatma understanding very important. Cohesive. That is why equal vision actually.
The whole idea is see everybody as me in everybody. Here Krishna is talking about yogi, Jnani yogi. So as a bhakta we understand that किसी Krishna ने because he has to deal with devotees. The yogi doesn't have to deal with anybody. He has to live alone. So what is the need of seeing this? What the use is there in seeing everybody, Krishna in everybody? So they don't have to deal with anybody. He's a Jnani yogi.
They have to deal, even Naga Babas have their association, Is it not? They also have their trajectories. Suppose one Baba is levitating, another Baba is levitating, they have to follow certain protocols, otherwise in the air there will be collision, He's going like this, they're in trance, samadhi, boom, they will collide with each other. So you see, the point is like that, they also have to have something. You can lessen your contact with mental energy. Then there is contact. These yogis, they have to deal with animals then. एनिमल को थोड़ा ना पता है आप बहुत बड़ा है समाधि में है तो ये समझ में आता है लंच पैक है है कि नहीं? कोई एनिमल आ गया है कहानी सुना रहा है उस बात रोरिंग है फिर डील करना पड़ेगा उससे बात. So the only way you can deal is the way one can deal is Paramatma understanding. Is it? That's how one comes to the platform neutrality. How to accept a devotee, even though knowing that he has so many faults and he has so many misbehaviors. वो हो ही नहीं सकता परमात्मा अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बाद. You're seeing that devotee has done so much wrong. You're seeing that devotee has so many limitations. And still to tolerate or to go on, very difficult. कैसे कर सकते? The only thing which can give us console us is परमात्मा. अरे परमात्मा is there on his face. 1-2 साल में थोड़ा प्यूरिफाई हो गया, डरो नहीं. Like that, is it not? The atrocity is too much. थोड़ा दूर हो जाओ, 2 साल बाद टच करना तो प्यूरिफाई हो जाएगा. Why? परमात्मा इफेक्ट, So Paramatma effect has to be accepted actually. Otherwise बहुत मुश्किल है कि नहीं? बहुत मुश्किल. So devotee circle tolerance is possible only when one gets this kind of neutral vision. The understanding Paramatma is everywhere. Actually, Paramatma is working on everyone's case. Right? In material world में ये principle apply नहीं होता because people are not verifying only, है ना? वो वहीं का वहीं है. तो कोई गड़बड़ है तो eternity तक गड़बड़ करता रहेगा, है ना? और rather is degrading more, ज़्यादा गड़बड़ करेगा, है ना? शैतानी ज़्यादा बन जाएगा. So spiritual life, the tolerance is possible. Like that. So this is the important point being explained here actually. Text 30 now the Lord says, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere and he sees everything in Krishna. So Paramatma level at least, we are understanding that the Lord is purifying. Is it not? Here one is seeing the Lord's, the Krishna's personal reciprocation actually. The things have become more intimate and direct actually. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. Is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. At this stage of Krishna consciousness, beyond self-realization, the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity can never be annihilated, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. A devotee takes no such risk. He doesn't merge in Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita it is said, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayan Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shama Sundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. And I like that. So one does not see anything other than his beloved actually. This is the stage of love actually, the Bhagavan stage. One does not see anything but his beloved actually. So this is the point actually. So therefore, it's just like, in love actually, a person sees everything but he doesn't see anything, he sees only his beloved actually. That is the point. He goes home, he sees the kitchen, he sees wife cooking. His wife is not cooking, wife might have gone to her home, mother's home. But that's what he sees, Is it not? He goes to the bedroom, sees his wife like that. He always, he sees, the curtain, he remembers his wife at birth, like that. And a child might remember this for his mother, Same thing actually. The point is one is not seeing anything, one is only seeing his beloved, like that, And one sees that, okay, there is something to eat which is kept, and one remembers, oh, my wife has kept it for me, or my mother has kept it for me, like that. One is remembering, oh, my mother is seeing it, like that. So he's seeing his mother, making it, he's seeing his mother cooking it for him, like that. So that is the point actually, that one doesn't see anything, one sees only his beloved. For him, anything and everything doesn't matter. It is only a reciprocation for his own beloved, like that. That is the point. The detail doesn't matter. What one needs is just a reciprocation for his own beloved. This is the stage actually where this Bhagavan understanding comes to. This is the stage where this Bhagavan understanding comes to. Like that. And this stage actually not only comes through meditation, this stage comes through active involvement also. Like that. Just like how love is developed between two people, is that you come out of your shell and sacrifice for the other person. The other person recognizes, and you will see that and the other person reciprocates, like that. So in the same way, by the means of active service, actually, one can develop this kind of personal reciprocation with the Lord. That we come out of our shells and we stretch ourselves and make an offering of sacrifice for the Lord, like that. And the Lord is the most grateful personality in the whole universe, like that. If you do something for Krishna, Krishna is going to give you back the highest returns, like that, among all the people in the entire universe, like that. So therefore, when the living entity keeps doing for Krishna, extending for Krishna, to Krishna's mission, and trying to extend himself to serve Krishna and serve Krishna, like that, then the Krishna's reciprocation also starts becoming more intense, like that. Then the whole life becomes, between us and Krishna, the Acharya, the Krishna, the Acharya, like that. So life becomes like that actually. And how to develop this loving relationship, try to stretch out for Krishna. And the super soul are the same. So now the Lord is establishing that Paramatma, factor, that equality factor which was there, like that, and I, that is this personal relationship. When you do service, knowing this, so both are the same, and such a person remains always in me in all circumstances. Such a person remains always in me, actually, in all circumstances. So this is the point actually, that one is always serving Krishna and the devotees. No matter whatever situation will come, the Lord's help will be there surely. Because that's what the Lord is giving a guarantee. Such a person, one who engages in the worshipful service, understand that one will always remain in me. Such a person will always be given reminders and led by the Lord actually. So that is the point, that is the aspiration of a sadhaka. Let me be always constantly engaged. And if I am there in the association of devotees, if I am doing active, tangible, some service to Krishna, like that, and no matter whatever will come in life, the Lord will be there at our disposal to do. The Lord will be there at our disposal to do. So this is that. So here the Lord is establishing the result that he and the super soul are not different. A yogi who is practicing meditation on the super soul sees within himself the plenary portion of Krishna's Vishnu with 4 hands holding conch shell, wheel, club and lotus flower. The yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna. Krishna in this form of super soul is situated in everyone's heart. Furthermore, there is no difference between the innumerable super souls present in the innumerable hearts of living entities. Nor is there a difference between a Krishna conscious person always engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna and a perfect yogi meditating on the super soul. The yogi in Krishna consciousness, even though he may be engaged in various activities while in material existence, remains always situated in Krishna. This is confirmed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Nikilasvapi avasthasu jivan mukta suchyate. A devotee of the Lord acting in Krishna consciousness is automatically liberated. Krishna consciousness is the highest stage of trance in yoga practice. This very understanding that Krishna is present as Paramatma in everyone's heart makes the yogi faultless. The Vedas confirm this inconceivable potency of the Lord as follows. Although the Lord is one, he is present in innumerable hearts as many. Vishnu is one and yet he is all pervading. By his inconceivable potency, in spite of his one form, he is present everywhere as the sun appears in many places at once. And thus the Lord concludes this section here, 32. Atmopayena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true quality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna. Yeah, so we conclude this section here. The next section will begin.
This is preaching is described.
Yeah. So you see that vision becomes established. This is the vision of the Supreme Lord and Bhakti. And in that vision, one is able to act in a proper state every time. Like that. So this is the point actually, which is
In
explained.
this person, the person is feeling for others.
Ah,
He is trying to help them.
yes, he sees all living beings, Krishna's parts and parcels, in both their happiness and distress actually. You know, in both their happiness and distress. The purport Prabhupada explains, one who is Krishna conscious, the perfect yogi, he is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. So he can relate with everything. He sees everything as a family of the Lord. The cause of distress of the living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. And the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activities of human beings, the proprietor of all the lands and planets, and the sincerest friend of all the living entities. The perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold material miseries due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. And because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna consciousness, he is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. Nachatasman manusheshu kashin me priya prittama. In other words, a devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities, and in this way he is factually the friend of everyone. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his own benefit, but tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entities. Here is a contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi who is interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying his best to turn every man towards Krishna consciousness. So you see, this is the point that the devotee wants to take the mission of the Lord. He wants to serve the Lord more and more, like that, So now it is said that you work where it relieves the greatest amount of pain, you press where it relieves the greatest amount of pain, like that. You work where there is a need and requirement, is it not? Like that. So that is the point. So now the living entity in the material world is a fallen case actually. Now if one wants to serve the Lord, how can one serve the Lord? Very difficult, The thousands and thousands of Lakshmis are serving the Lord. What we will serve, is it not? So if you see the spiritual world, there is no vacancy, means in that sense. So where are we actually? We have no standing. The Lord will not even look at us. Who are we? Where are we? Like that. Our rank is not there at all. No ranking. Is it not? Right? No ranking is there actually. That is the point. So what we will do? It's very difficult to get recognition from the Lord actually. Very difficult to get recognition of the Lord. But this material world actually is a gone place. This material world is a gone case actually. Here the living entities are rebellious of the Lord, like that. So here if we become representatives of the Lord will notice, that area where it is paining, this fellow is trying to act, in a positive sense. Naam likho iska. Is it not? That is the point actually. Is it not? So you see, just like, say somebody has to become a faculty in IIT, old IIT, very difficult to become faculty. So many people are there. You have to enter a new IIT, IIT Mandi, Again. Is it not?
IIT Ropar.
He's saying Ropar. So like that, So you enter there, you become an IIT professor, same teacher, same value, same funding, like that. So that is the way actually. Where it is hitting the most, when the need is there the most, there you serve actually, you will be recognized actually. That is the point. That is why a devotee gives his life for Sankirtan, like that. Because now if you want to make a palace for the Lord, what palace you will make for the Lord? Again. It's already that palace is made of Chintamani, Again. So if we say spiritual world, there is no vacancy, no job for us, that way. The Lord is already getting that service. But the Lord is a heart for this material world. Here we do something for Krishna. Is it not? Then we can go very close to Krishna. Krishna takes a note actually. Oh. like that. Is it not? That is the point. Is it not? So just like it is said, like say somebody, just like it is said. So now the whole point is like this. It's like you need not massage the person, every day, but someday it is paining for him. You massage, he will remember it. Hey, this man held in need. No, is it not? You will make a note. So similarly, it is paining for the Lord here. Actually, the living entities are suffering. Actually, like that. And here we are trying to act to release the pain of the Lord. Positive pleasure very difficult to give. That requires a lot of Kali. You don't have that Kali. You see Yashoda Mai, how she is giving pleasure to Krishna, Radharani, how she is giving to Krishna. Positive pleasure very difficult to give. It's you have to understand the mind of Krishna. It's very difficult. Like that. वो अपने बस का नहीं है, is it not? It's so fallen people actually. But here there is pain. ये समझ में आता है वो दर्द है So this we can do actually. And this way will be recognized, like that. And Radharani recognizes, she gives a recommendation. Hey. The acharyas give a recommendation, like because here there is a pain. And here, that way. Just like when a company is establishing a new setup somewhere, there you go and help the company, lot of money, lot of position, lot of power will come to you. जहाँ उसका headquarters है वहाँ पे तो चपड़ासी भी नहीं बनाएंगे, Is it not? Like that. Is it? That is the point, That. Like that. So that's the whole point. Like if you go to an established temple and want to do some service, you will not get a very strategic service, like that, You will get some backup, some cleaning, some mopping, like that. Is it not? But suppose the temple is opening some extension somewhere, nobody is there, and you say no, I will help. Again. So then you become like the driving man, Is it not? A very strategic role one can play, is it not? Therefore, voice preaching one can play strategic role. The temple का extension है, Is it not? कुछ भी नहीं है उधर, So therefore we can experience a very solid role, like that. But बहुत कुछ है तो कुछ नहीं झाड़ू भी नहीं मिलेगा, Is it not? So that is the point actually which needs to be established. Therefore we have to be very intelligent, You relieve where it pains, like that, You relieve where it pains actually. And when we do that, we relieve where it pains. We can become recognized by the Lord. Oh, he is helping me there. The close man, So, cannot keep him in close boots now. Is it not? So that is the point actually. That is the point. You relieve where it pains. When you go, you get a lot of mercy, like that. So we need a lot of mercy because we are very fallen. Like that. So therefore, so the person, he's seeing the true equality of all beings in their happiness and despair by comparing with his own situation. These people are like me only, but I have got that fortune, they have not got. Let me share my fortune with them, and probably they may speed up faster than me, and maybe even drag me, like that, or by the Krishna will recognize that I have helped them going forward, like that. So there is some hope in my case, some solidity which will come in my case, like that. So here the Lord is revealing the topmost business strategy, like that, of quick recognition and promotion, like that. And have a one-to-one, dinner with the Lord, lunch with the Lord on the banks of the Ganges, on the banks of the Yamuna, like that, under the trees of Vrindavan, same Kadamba tree, like that. Prabhupada ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So we'll have Mangalarti after 15 minutes.